Hello, my diamonds, my TikTokers, and my Teletubbies. SheilaTruelove here with you. You know, I don't know if you're familiar with the show on YouTube. It's called Twisted Crimes, Viral Crimes, where you see a lot of the women who have been put in positions that they were not aware of. They had no idea that they were with someone who is going to abuse them. They had no idea. Now, I am listening to this gentleman here, Chris Odie, and he goes into detail how to know immediately if he is going to use you as a punching bag or if he is an abuser. Let me share this with you. The first one, he has an accent, so listen carefully.
Physically in your relationship is that he isolates you from everybody. You know what they say, love is blind. So most of the time you can't see things clearly, even when he's up.
Well, I disagree. Love is not blind, because the Bible says God is love. Infatuation is blind. Love is never blind.
Using you or doing things to suggest that he's going to abuse you, you might not see those things. You might not see the signs because you are blinded by the love that you feel for him. So the first thing he does is to isolate you from your loved ones, your friends and family. You know why? So that they won't be able to figure him out. So that there would be nobody for you to talk to and nobody to help you out. He isolates you from these people so that when...
He's correct on that. He isolates you from your family first and your friends, because when he's abusing you, he don't want you to have anyone there who's going to support you. The only voice he wants in your head is his voice. They talk about keep family out of your marriage and keep this and that. Of course, you're not supposed to have family all up in your business to a certain extent. But you're never supposed to cut off your friends and cut off your family just because you found some man. Somebody who's not your flesh, not your blood, never will be. Just somebody you met from around the way.
He begins to abuse you, you will have no one to run to. You will have no one to talk to. Sometimes having just a simple conversation with a friend about what is going on in your relationship could be the reset that you need, because they're going to tell you some reasonable things. They'll open your eyes to things that you can't see clearly. So what he does is to take all of these people out of your life and have you be all by yourself. How will he do that, you might be wondering? He might begin by making all those people look bad to you. He might make up stories telling you how they are such a bad influence on you. And by the time you begin to believe his stories, you will take yourself out of your relationships with those people. And at the end of the day, it's going to be just you and him. And when he begins to abuse you, physically, you have no one to run to, you have no one to talk to.
I mean, how many of us know women who every time they get a man, they take their family, their friends, relatives, and throw them in the garbage the moment they have a man? So I'm not too sure if I could feel any compassion or feel sorry for those type of women who every time you have a man in your life, you just throw everybody else away. And little do you know that you just set yourself up for having no support at all when this Dusty starts to take advantage of you. Maybe you're reaping what you sow. Could that be it?
Women feel so ashamed at this point in their lives because they can't go back to their loved ones, their family and friends. They can't explain what happened to their relationship with those people in the first place. So they would rather stay there in that abusive relationship than seek help because they are ashamed of what those people will say about them. So if you notice that your man is trying to isolate you from your family and your friends, and he has no tangible, no logical reason for that, that's a huge red flag, okay? It's a sign that he might just be trying to isolate you from these people so that when he begins to abuse you, you have nobody to come to your rescue. The second sign that he's going to abuse you physically,
or he may not mind you having the type of friends that he know is always going to agree with him. They're always going to side with the man. The man is the head. He's the head of the household. You're supposed to submit. You're supposed to listen to your husband. He don't mind you being around people like that. No, he has no problem with that part.
your relationship is that he is overly controlling. Do you feel like your man is controlling? You see, that's how it starts. It begins with the little things. He tells you what to do and what not to do. First off, you need to understand that you are an adult, okay,
Hello.
not a child. Nobody, not even your man, should control your life. Nobody should tell you what to do. You have a head to think for yourself. Yes, he can advise you. He can make suggestions, but controlling you, that is not cool. If he always has an opinion.
That's why you have a lot of women who have a problem with the submissive thing. Now you notice he could give you advice. He could give you some, suggestions. And we know how the Bible does support that a wife is supposed to submit to her husband, but it also supports that a husband is supposed to submit to his wife. Don't believe me? Go get your Bible, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21. Submit to one another. And the last time I checked, I'm a grown woman, child. I don't need you to tell me. You can ask me. You can advise or suggest to me, but you will not be telling me anything.
Opinion about what you should do, where you should go, where you shouldn't go. That's a sign that he is trying to control you, okay? And the next minute, he will try to abuse you physically, especially if you condone his controlling attitude. Yes, if he feels that he can control you, that gives him the go-ahead to lay his hands on you, all right? It feels that, hey, I can do whatever I want to do to her and she's not going to complain. So if she's going to allow me control her, then I might as well, hit her, and there's nothing she can do about it. As a woman, you need to know your worth, you need to know your value, and you need to know when to draw the line. You need to know when he's just...
The first time he put his hands on you should be the last time. You should be a one and done. I had my second husband lay hands on me, but guess who ended up in the hospital? It wasn't me. I'm just saying.
Advising you, when he's giving you suggestions, you should be able to tell the difference between that and someone who has been controlling, okay? So if he's always trying to control you and you've been condoning it all this while, it's about time that you took a different turn, okay? If you allow him to continue to control you, he's going to see that as a green light to hit you, to abuse you physically, because you've shown him that you can tolerate, you can condone his control. So he's going to take it a step further by abusing you. But when you stand up for yourself and you let him know that, hey, you can't be controlled, trust me, he's going to think twice whenever he wants to abuse you. He's going to know that that's a no-go area, that you're not going to tolerate it, all right? So you need to stamp your foot on the ground and call his BS the minute you notice that he is trying to control you.
That's another thing. I don't understand why you have all of these women who are like 5 feet, 5'2", 5'7", and they want these men who are 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2". They want him to be buff and they want him to be muscular because they said that helps. I listened to why women require that. They said it helps make them feel cute and it makes them feel protected. What makes you feel protected against him? Who's going to protect you against him? I know you women know about domestic violence. Don't act like you don't know what that is. You know what it is. Are you thinking in advance? Do you have family members who are big enough and strong enough to handle him when he come out of pocket? Are you thinking at all? And some people say, well, why would you automatically assume that your man is going to abuse you? Because I know the kind of world we live in. And I'm not willing to play Russian roulette with my life. People change. He started out with the love bombing. He started out all beautiful. Everything was gravy. What used to be a dream is now a nightmare. Are we living on the same planet? Are you women not aware of that part? Well, you want these big old men towering over you. What? No. The tallest I've ever dated, he was 5'10". I'm 5'7". He was 5'10". I don't need nobody 6 feet and all this muscular all above me, because then I'm going to have to, sometime you're going to have to be licensed to carry, if you know what I mean.
Not a child, you are an adult. You are a woman and you understand your worth, you understand your value. Perhaps he doesn't see all of that. It is your responsibility to make him see it. Because if you don't, you might just be, giving him the go-ahead to abuse you physically. So it's up to you to know where and when to draw the line. We're talking about signs he's going to abuse you physically in your relationship. The third sign is that he insults you. Oh yes. Does your man insult you? It might seem like a joke initially. Actually, that's how it starts. It starts as a joke. Hey, you're stupid, you're crazy. And before you know it, it becomes serious. You need to understand that while you guys can play together and have fun, even play like kids if you want to, nobody should insult anybody, okay? He has to respect you as a person, as a human being. First, and then as his woman, he shouldn't be insulting you like you're some inconsequential person, all right? You need to let him understand that you won't take any of those insults, that it is not acceptable. If you keep quiet when he insults you, the next time he's going to insult you even more and more, and that will continue to build up until it gets to that point where he will hit you physically. Remember, these things don't happen overnight. They build up. It starts with a little insult. So if he insults you the first time, hey, you need to call him out. Say, hey, I'm not going to take that, okay? If I did something wrong, you could let me know. Talk to me. We're both adults. Let's have a conversation about it. Don't insult me, especially when I am not insulting you. It's as simple as that. But if you keep quiet and you let him insult you over and over again, don't be surprised when he raises his hands on you, when he lifts a finger on you, because you condoned the insults that he started with, all right? So you need to look out for those insults, no matter how little they might seem. An insult is an insult. It is condescending, it is derogatory, and you shouldn't accept it, okay? If he's in the habit of insulting you and you've been taking it all along, it's time for you to put an end to it, because if you don't, that insult that seems so harmless could actually turn out to be very harmful, okay? Before you know it, he will begin to hit you. And once he hits you the first time, there's no guarantee that he won't do it again. The fourth sign that he's going to abuse you physically in your relationship is that he makes you feel guilty about everything. Guilt tripping is a huge sign of abusive.
No man can make me feel guilty about anything. No one can make me feel guilty about anything, because I'm a firm believer. I'm from the baby boomer generation. And coming from the baby boomer generation, we're not like the millennials and Generation Z, honey child, please. No, if it don't apply, I let it fly. You know how a duck lets the water run down his back and it just runs right off his back? I don't care what you say. If it's not true, you have no evidence, you have no proof, you have no stats, no number, no what, child? You coming at me with just your opinion? Ask me if I really care. And if you're so unhappy with me and you have all of these insults and all of this whatever, nobody's holding you captive. I don't have a pow-pow to your head to keep you here. You know your way to the door. Because I know me, I'm not staying no place where I'm not happy. That's why I've been divorced twice. I was engaged to someone I was in a relationship for 7 years. I had to, that hurt me. That one hurt me. That ripped my heart, child. I was in the hospital and all the above over that one. That hurt me like, oh. But it won't happen again. Trust and believe that.
People, okay? They begin by making you feel guilty about the smallest things, so that when they begin to abuse you, they will find a way to still make it look like it's all your fault. So they are indirectly telling you that it's your fault that they are abusing you. It's your fault that they are hitting you. Who does that? Okay, if your man is in the habit of always guilt tripping you, even when it's so obvious, so glaring that you haven't done anything wrong, that's a sign. Okay, that man could end up abusing you physically. All right, he's trying to seize your voice, he's trying to shut you up, so that when he abuses you, you won't have the voice to speak up for yourself. And when you do, he's going to make it look like it's all your fault. That is gaslighting. Okay, you shouldn't accept that. All right, yes, sometimes you might do some things that are wrong, just like every other person. I mean, nobody is perfect.
Right.
But if it makes it look like you're always wrong about everything, that is not healthy at all.
No, that's not healthy. And one thing I have no problem with is if I'm wrong, I am so able and humble enough to apologize. I will humble myself, and then I will always ask, because an apology to me is not good enough. I always ask, what can I do to make it up to you? And as long as what you request or require of me is reasonable, consider it done. Because when I mess up, I definitely want to make amends. And I have no problem with that.
Nobody is perfect, right? And he needs to understand that. So if he's always guilt tripping you now, that's a sign that tomorrow he might abuse you physically and then make it look like it's all your fault. He will make you feel guilty for abusing you. It sounds crazy, but that's how they do it. So you need to look out for that sign early enough, okay?
Yep.
You shouldn't be constantly feeling guilty, especially when there's nothing to feel guilty about. You shouldn't be constantly apologizing, especially when you've not done anything wrong. I mean, if you do something wrong, the right thing to do is to apologize. I get it. I'm not saying you shouldn't apologize when you're in the wrong. But when it's obvious that, hey, you haven't done anything, that's a sign. He might just be trying to guilt trip you to create that narrative that you are the guilty person, in quote, here. And when he eventually begins to abuse you, he'll also make you feel like the guilty one. The fifth sign that he's going to abuse you physically is that he's always checking your phone and other devices. He's snooping around. He's trying to see who you're texting, who you're calling, who you're interacting with. And that is not cool. If he has any questions about all of that.
No, I don't mind people checking my phone, and I don't think that couples or people who are in relationships should have an issue with that, because, I mean, whatever. If you're not hiding anything, then you don't have a problem with somebody looking in your phone. I don't care about all that. I mean, I have a lot of my personal information, and on certain things, I just have a password on it. You know, like I have the memo thing, and I put a password on it. When it comes to like my journal, or if you have a diary, you don't want people all up in your business on that, because that's your personal thoughts. But when it comes to like answering my phone ring, honey, can you pick up my phone and answer it? I don't have no problem with that. I don't care if you look at my phone. You take my phone for today and I'll take yours. No problem. I have nothing to hide. So I'm going to disagree with him on that one. Let's move on.
Why can't he just private property, okay? He has no right whatsoever to go through it. Most men that hit women in a relationship, what he saw on your phone, even if it's not true, even if it's not what he thinks all right, it might be too late by then. Take a step, take a stand. Nobody deserves to be abused, okay? You are a beautiful woman. You deserve to be treated so specially. You deserve to be treated like the queen that you are. And if he can't treat you that way, I'm sorry, it's his loss. You need to take a step. You need to move on to someone better. I did a video titled Why the...
Yeah, honey, I agree with that. Yes, you're a queen and you should be treated like that. But you have a lot of women who want to be treated like a princess. I never understood that part either. That means that you want somebody to take care of you. You're grown. You're an adult. Take care of yourself. That's the part of being an adult. I don't want to be nobody's princess. I will always choose to be the queen. So there you have it, my beautiful diamonds, my TikTokers and my Teletubbies, and my Hershey kisses. These are the signs that you should look out for. And the first sign of abuse, you should be, hopefully like me, you're one and you're done. The first time he gets stupid with raising his voice in a certain manner where you're foaming at the mouth, you got this anger like crazy. Oh no, we're not having that. You just say, yeah, and then you just block, delete, get him out of here. Do it immediately so you don't end up on Twisted Crimes and Viral Crimes. Please check that out. It's scary. Or horrendous. They have something else with horrendous crimes. Keep in mind that men are physically stronger than women. But I know something they're not stronger than. Hello. Make sure you're licensed. Or if you don't have a brother, an uncle, nephews. Like I was one girl, 5 brothers. I have nephews that if anything gets stupid, I take a picture of you, send it to him. He's a part of the Bloods. You don't want no mess with me. Not really. But you have women out here who don't have a support system like that. You shouldn't be dating. If you don't have men in your family who could become your soldiers, you shouldn't be dating. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. I'm heading out to the office. Yes. And I want you to have a great day. Because I personally say instead of chasing after some man like a chicken or a pigeon, you should be an eagle and work towards building sisterhoods so you can have someone to share your life, share your experiences. Try that in your community. Try to have at least 2 good girlfriends so you can become like the 3 Musketeers. I have 3 good girlfriends. We've been friends since I was 16. The thing is, they live 3 or 4 hours away. Well, one of my besties, she's all the way in Florida. My best bestie, my heart, Teresa, shout out, man. Amparo, ex-Samara Amparo, shout out. Anna, shout out to you too. Those are my 3 besties since we were 16. My bestie, one of them is in Florida. The other one is in the Bronx. The other one is in Jersey. That's like 3-4 hours away. And all the way to Florida, it's rough. So I'm trying to build a community up here with sisterhood. But you have a lot of these women who are chickens and pigeons, and they're not eagles. An eagle to me is someone who is single, happily single, not just single. Because some people are single, but it's not by choice. I'm single by choice. I don't ever in my life want to be married again. Peace is not negotiable. Peace is priceless. I've been on both sides, baby, and being single is not only more peaceful. You have joy, peace, freedom, tranquility, and it's just so much easier. Anyway, like I said, I gotta run. Try to build sisterhoods. Nobody wants to go through life alone. God didn't create us or design us to be alone. We all need a social network or a support network. And if you have a car, I'm sorry, I don't understand. How on earth can you not have a community or a social network that you belong to? I don't understand that. Maybe you can leave it in the comments. I don't get it. Anyway, I gotta run. I love you. Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.